but it's okay because the live stream bot on the Harvest Moon Discord only just posted that I'm live. So let's ignore that run. Let's do a run for real this time. So this is back to nature, marriage, the married Popuri category. I didn't actually mention this in the first one. I mean, what first run? This is actually the PSP version of the game. What's it called? Back to Nature Boy and Girl. And that's for a couple reasons. One, it's a lot easier to emulate. Like, I don't own either versions of the game, either like the original PS1 or the PSP version, but the PSP version is like, it's just so much more easier to emulate than the original PlayStation 1 version. I think it's faster. I don't know. I've never checked. I've never tested. Honestly, the biggest reason is just it's easier to emulate. And then the only other slight difference I can think of is, or the file system, I guess. I can have way more files than on the original PS1 version. Because I think the original PS1 version, I might be wrong on this, I think it's limited to 2 files per memory card. Whereas this, I don't know how many it's limited to on this, but it's a lot more. And the only other difference it makes is when you reset, you have to go through the boy and girl title screen. So there's like a little bit, but that's like an extra 5-10 seconds maybe. Considering you only have to reset the game once in the run. It's 3 per card, okay. Yeah, so the PSP version has a lot more save files. That doesn't really make a difference, because realistically you should only have you should actually only have 2, maybe 3 files in this run. You could probably make a lot more in back to in 98% if you wanted to, if you wanted to be very safe. Because in a back to in a 98% run, if you save frequently, at least then if something happens that's really fucking stupid in the run, you can at least go back to a slightly further. You can go back and not have a whole hour lost or whatever. Whereas in this, if something like that happens, you may as well just reset the run. So if I kept the run going that I just had, I mean what run? I would have had to go back to Spring 7, so I would have had to wait to sell my sheep again, and then I would have had to do all that again. So I would have watched the cutscene with Karen again. I would have had to sell all my sheep again and sell my chickens again and all that stuff, and yeah. And that's the thing, with this run, because of the way you make money, there is just, unfortunately, you do just have to, waste a bit of time at points. There are just certain days where you do just have to kind of go, okay, and now I've got to wait until 10 o'clock with nothing to do. So really, what you have to do is just kind of optimize the route so that you're trying to do that as little as possible. I feel like I could have gone out that day, but I don't want to risk it. So if you go out on either Spring 2 or 3, if you go out on Spring 2, you have to, there's a shortcut scene where Thomas tries to show you around the town, but you can say no to the tour but it's a cutscene that you don't have to watch, so you may as well not watch it. And then if you go out on Spring 3, you have to watch 1's introduction, where Harris warns you about a dangerous criminal, and then 1 just sits against a tree. I don't actually know if that cutscene plays if it's raining, but I didn't want to take a chance because it is quite a long cutscene. Or it's like a slightly long, like it's a couple minutes, but it's like, you know, it's a couple minutes I can save, so yeah. So actually, if you did go out on that day, there'd be a potential for time save by doing the whole exchanges on the Friday instead of the Saturday. Would that actually save time? I don't know. Yeah, so as I mentioned, this is like the only part of the run where I make money from something other than cloned animals, because that is basically what you do. And in my PB, you do this type of thing a lot more, because you save up to buy a cow instead of what I'm doing now, which is saving up to buy a chicken, and then cloning and selling chickens to buy a sheep, and then cloning and selling sheep to buy a cow. Hey, people who weren't here during the first run, I mean what first run, you'll get to hear my explanation for animal exchange, and people who were here will get to hear it again, so I'm sure you'll all enjoy that. Yeah, so this would be the final day. Thanks, Naime. I say final day of foraging, I mean. Though I might actually do a little bit later to just kind of pass the time. I think if I do that, it does cost a little bit of time because of just loading transitions, but I'm sure there's a reason it's like where it is actually beneficial to do it at least once. But I can't remember anything about this game. Oh, I think that was actually raining. That's quite good. Another good thing about emulator is it's easier to delete files, because all you have to do is locate them on your computer and then just delete the files. I don't have to individually delete every single file through the actual game. I imagine you could probably, like, I don't know. I've never had a PSP before, so I don't know whether you can, there's like a file explorer or some sort of thing on that. Or like a file manager. I imagine there is some sort of thing like that, but you know. That's slow or whatever. Okay. So you might be thinking, well, hang on, why am I starting a second file? So in order to explain why I'm starting a second file, first I need to explain animal exchanging. So in this game there's a feature where you can trade animals between farms. And that's basically like the main way you make money. Is by trading animals to your farms and then selling them. But the way that works, or the reason why that works, is because of the way trading kind of works in this game. So you have two files, file A and file B. Let's say you have a cow on file A and nothing on file B. If you traded that cow from file A to B, what happens is when the trade is over, it saves file B. It doesn't save file A because it assumes you'll carry on playing file A and you'll save at some point yourself. So basically what I do is I just don't save. I either reload the file or I load into another file so that the next time, so say you trade the cow from file A to file B and then you just immediately reload file A. You'll still have the cow on file B, but then you'll also still have the cow on file A. So you now have two cows, and you can basically just do this back and forth until you have like 5 cows on both files. So you can just sell 5 cows, and cows sell for like 3,000 G each. So that's quite a bit of money. Also, hello, communist Smeagol. So then that goes back to, well, why do you need a second file? And the reason for that is because obviously you need to trade between 2 files, but you can't actually, they have to be like different farms, or like different starts. So I can't just make 2 saves of my original file, because it recognizes that as being the same file, the same playthrough. So you need to, so I need to start this second file and then basically save immediately, just so I can trade between 2 files. So that's why you have to watch the intro cutscene twice, and that's why you basically make like all of your money through animal trading and selling. And the reason why you have to make a bunch of money is because in this run, or in this game, in order to get married you have to have the second house expansion, and this is one of the Harvest Moon games where you have to get like all the expansions in a specific order. So you have to get the chicken coop upgrade, then you have to get the first house upgrade, then you have to get the barn upgrade, and then you have to get the second house upgrade, and you have to do them in that order. So that costs quite a bit of money. Especially if, in this case, you buy all of your wood, because sure, you could, go around chopping stumps, upgrading your axe, and doing all that good stuff. But you could also not do that, and just sell a bunch of animals and buy all the wood you need. And it's a lot quicker, so I just do that instead. So it boosts the price up a bit of everything, but it's still quicker to just sell a bunch of animals and then buy the wood than it is to legitimately get the wood. So yes, this second part doesn't actually really get used for much. It's just kind of, you watch the intro, you save, and then it's mostly used for just trading. It is raining. Okay. So raining on this day is actually good. And that's because, so I actually end up doing this day 3 times. So this first time, the only thing I'll be doing is buying a chicken. So I'm going to buy the chicken and then trade it over to my other farm. The second time I do this day, I'm going to start the day with 5 chickens that I've traded back and forth to get I'm going to sell them all, and then I'm going to go buy a sheep. And in order to buy and sell chickens, I have to wait until 11 o'clock, because that's what time the shop opens. Although on a rainy day, I think you can actually go in at 10, but whatever Popuri's mother's called doesn't start selling, or like doesn't actually open the shop until 11. So you can go in at 10, but like because time doesn't pass indoors, you'd be waiting forever. But you have to wait like an extra hour to actually buy and sell chickens. But so then once I've sold my chickens, I then have to go to the next screen over and go to Yodel Ranch to buy a sheep. And on a sunny day, because of the time you'd get there, you'd watch a cutscene in which they go, here's a horse for free. And that obviously takes time. But if it's a rainy day, you don't have to watch that cutscene, so it saves a bit of time. And I think there's like a certain point after it where like it doesn't matter what time you get to the farm, you just won't get the cutscene. I think like you have like a month or something to get that cutscene in spring, and then you have to get like the other horse, because that horse you basically get for free. But there's another horse you can get, I think it's by like planting a certain amount of grass on your farm. But yeah, there are quite a few points in this run where you just kind of have to sit around and do nothing, unfortunately. But yeah, it's faster to just have to sit around and do nothing sometimes. But I mean, if anyone has any questions about the run or animal exchanging or whatever, those moments of downtime, brilliant points to ask. But realistically, you can ask at any point, because this isn't a necessarily difficult game to read chat during. So I'm just going to exchange this chicken over to my second file. And then because I didn't actually start that day with the chicken, I won't have the chicken on the other file, but I will still have the 1500G that I used to buy the chicken. But so then, because when I exchange a chicken from file B to A, it'll save file A, my original file. By the time I'm done with it, it will have 5 chickens on. And the good thing about that is, so like, before you get the first chicken coop upgrade, 5 chickens is the maximum you can have. And luckily, with the 1500G that you need to buy the chicken, and then all the money that you get from selling 5 chickens, that's just enough to buy the sheep, which is the next thing you want to buy. Okay, so we've got 5 chickens. So because we've got, well, it's not because we've got 5 chickens, I think it's just because we've got a chicken. We're going to get this cutscene with Anne, but luckily it's one that you could just immediately nope out of. Now we have to do a little bit more waiting. But that's fine. Yeah, I don't particularly know why the cow died during the last run. It definitely shouldn't have done that. I mean, what last run? Now that was bizarre, because I've tested this run quite a few times. And that's like, the cows have definitely acted weird. But that's probably one of the weirder ones. One of the weirder things happen. Other weird things include cows I've traded have gone from fully mature to the same like age that you get when you buy them, so that I couldn't actually sell them. So when you buy a sheep or when you buy a chicken, you can sell it immediately, but when you buy a cow you have to wait for it to fully mature. You have to wait like, it's just over 2 weeks in game I think, for it to mature for you to sell them. So yeah. I guess another reason why it's slightly faster for it to be raining on this day is because when it's not raining, you can only go into the house once Popuri's in, and she, like, as long as you don't stop her and like or like block her from moving or anything, she does get into the house at 11, which is the same time as you can enter it on a rainy day, or at the same time the shop opens on a rainy day. But you can't get, you aren't able to get there like exactly on 11, just because you kind of have to like fight Popuri to get through the door. Whereas on a rainy day you can just immediately go through the door. But that's like barely a time save. The biggest time save is mostly the fact that you don't have to watch the horse cutscene. Okay, so I should now have 4000 G. Yep. And that's just enough to buy a chicken. No. Okay. It is enough to buy a chicken, but I'm not going to buy a chicken. It's enough to buy a sheep, which is what I'm going to buy. The only downside to it being raining is you don't get to hear any music. But here's a little bit of music, here's like a short interval of music. Yeah, unfortunately there's like no way to not see this like snippet of Popuri's introduction. That's not actually true, there is. You can go all the way around the town, but that is not faster at all. But yeah. So now, thing that I did with the chickens, where I'm going to exchange them between the two files, I'm going to do that again, but with this sheep. Nope. Okay. So that's the sheep exchange done. Let's check. Yep, okay. So here comes Anne again. Unfortunately this time she will remember us ignoring her. But we don't care about Anne, because we're not marrying Anne. So now, instead of waiting all the way until 11, we only have to wait until 10. Isn't that much nicer? It's one of those weird things, because pretty much everyone online says that this place opens at 9. And that's just not true. It opens at 10. And I'm confused as to why that's like spread around, because it's one of those really easy things to check. It's not even something that like changes like on rainy days or on sunny days or whatever. It's just consistently 10 o'clock. I think I'm going to do the same thing as I did in my last run, where I went to, so I'm going to sell my sheep now, buy the cow, buy the fodder, cool. But then I'm going to wait until 11 to sell my chickens at Popuri farm, and then I'm going to go buy the rucksack. Okay, I didn't actually need to do that, but that's not actually a problem, because I was actually going to buy the animal medicine and probably the bell at some point anyway. I just didn't mean to do it this soon, and the reason why is because even though it takes a little bit of time to buy the animal medicine and to buy the bell, you end up selling a lot of animals here. So you end up selling a lot of sheep and a lot of cows. Actually, these are the only sheep you sell. You sell a lot of cows. So the menu is like a little bit quicker because once you buy the animal medicine, you don't use it. So it just kind of, so that option just kind of goes away. And the same with the bell. You can't buy more than one bell. So that option just goes away, meaning it's quicker to sell sheep and it's quicker to sell cows because of the fact that there's a little less menuing. And it's not a lot of less menuing. Whoops. But it's a little less menuing that you do a lot of. I'm sure that is definitely not confusing. Oops, I do need to buy some fodder though. I need my cow to not die this time. That would actually be swell. Actually, yeah, this will be another point where it's faster to already have animal medicine, because instead of going down to or up to, because the option to buy the animal medicine would be underneath sell chicken. So instead of having to either go down to or up to, I can just go up one. So even though I didn't actually mean to buy the animal medicine, it is actually quicker to do that and to buy the bell. And I probably would have at some point during the race, just I didn't mean to do it that soon. You watch the cow die again now, and somebody in chat will say, you should have used the animal medicine. I won't laugh if that happens. I'll be very sad. Okay, now it's off to watch Karen's introduction cutscene, because from what I know there's no way to skip it if I get to the shop at this time of day. Still not sure whether it's like which of the options is faster. No, I think that's a little bit longer. Because if you choose the other option, Karen just walks out and she doesn't talk to you. she says like something to Jeff, but then that's it. Whereas with that one, basically it replaces talking to Jeff with talking to Duke, and then she talks to you, and then walks back to the back room. So I think it is actually faster to select the first option. Right, everyone in chat, and especially everyone who has, oh, I'm gonna actually feed my cow. Everyone who has Franco-Face Z in chat, make sure to post Harvest Moo to bless the cow with health. Because I don't want this cow dying. Otherwise I'll be very sad. No dying cow. Hey Ash Marks, thanks for good luck. Right. So, it may seem risky to do exactly the same strat as my previous run. I mean, what previous run? But yeah, I'm going to do the exact same thing, because it's worked for me before. So let's just say that was me being unlucky. What's interesting, I feel like it may have, like, the rainy days may have had something to do with it, but it shouldn't have, because the cow's inside. Rain shouldn't affect the cow if it's inside, but who knows. Okay, I'll be completely honest that like just the lack of music because of rain got me a little bit worried for a second. I was like, you gotta be kidding me! It just died in like a single day of not feeding it. Okay, sour mood is fine. Cow being upset is perfectly fine. It's when it gets sick that it's not good. I guess the good thing is like if it gets sick on one of the days I don't feed it, which shouldn't really happen. It shouldn't get sick on like an odd day. If anything, it should get sick on an even day, like the day after I don't feed it. Salmon's fine. But if it does get sick, I do actually have the animal medicine to cure it. I don't want to use the animal medicine because then the option to buy animal medicine will get put back in the menus, and I don't want that there. But I guess it's a backup in case it happens, so sure. So I didn't actually fill my bag there because I want to start the 20th with no fodder in my bag, just because I'm going to save, so I'm going to save on the 20th, or I'm going to save on the 19th so that it'll load on the 20th, because that's when I want to do the first house expansion. So the worst that could happen now is it gets sick on the 20th or on the 19th. It shouldn't get sick on the 19th because I've fed it. It might get sick tomorrow, but if it gets sick tomorrow I can just heal it. I think this might actually also be the last time I need to feed it. I think it should be done growing tomorrow. But it should be definitely done by the 22nd. But the kind of good thing is, if it gets sick now, I can just reload on the 20th, and that won't waste that much time. But if it does get sick, what I'd actually do is just use the animal medicine on it. But if I didn't have the animal medicine on it, yeah, see, it just, like, sure game, why not? Oh, actually, I just remembered, using animal medicine is fine, because when I reload into 20th, I'm still going to have the animal medicine. It's good. Oops. So now that I've got an adult cow, I can send it over to my second file, and so on my third file now, but it's still like a continuation of the original file, I actually have, I guess it's like a teen cow. It's not adult, it's not a baby cow. So I just exchanged the adult cow for that one, just essentially to get rid of it. So now on this file, I have an adult cow. And that basically prevents me from like accidentally trading young cows back and forth, because you can't sell them, and if I end up with like a young cow on a file that I don't want it on, it makes things very complicated and irritating. And something I'm actually going to do is, so I'm going to do like a couple more trades between these files. So I want 5 cows, so the maximum number of barn animals, so cows and sheep that you can have at the beginning without the expansion is 10. So I've got 5 currently on this file, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to trade over these 5 cows for these 5 sheep. Oops. Okay, I'm going to do that again because I somehow messed up somewhere. So it won't remember that I have 5 sheep on this file, it'll just remember I have 5 cows. But now on this file I have 10 cows, and cows sell for more than sheep. So I only actually want to be selling cows, I don't want to sell like 5 cows and 5 sheep. And chickens don't really add that much to be necessary, or to be worth it after the first exchange. But then the reason why I want to have 5 is because you can only sell 5, or you can only trade 5 animals over at a time. So if I were to have 5 cows and 5 sheep on the other file, what I'd have to do is I'd have to trade over the 5 cows, then reload that file to trade over 5 more cows. Whereas now that I have 10 cows on that file, I can just trade over 5 cows, and then trade over 5 cows again. I don't have to reload the file. So it does save a little bit of time to do that. So it's the best part of the run again. It's a little bit of waiting. But now we're also coming up to the first expansion. So, yeah, because what I've got to do today is I'm going to sell my cows and then as I've mentioned, cows sell for 3,000 G each, so I'm going to sell 10 of them. So yeah, so I'm going to get 10,000 G from the cows. 10,000? I'm going to get 30,000. Let's pretend I can do maths for a second. It's 30,000. Done. We can all stop pretending now. So even though I used the animal medicine on this on the sick cow I had, because I then went back to, I reloaded from the point when I still had the animal medicine. I still have it now, so so that meant that option in the menu still isn't there, and it's still a little bit faster. And I'm actually going to buy the bell now as well, because I definitely have enough money to not worry about it. So now selling cows is a lot faster than if I didn't have the bell and if I didn't have animal medicine. And yeah, it's one of those things that it doesn't save that much time. Like, it's like tiny bits of menuing, but it does. So like it saves a bit of time over like throughout the run. So you may as well, really. So yeah, so selling all these cows is really important, because this first expansion, if you buy all the wood, costs you 26,000 G, and as I said when I was able to do maths, selling all these cows will get me 30,000 G, plus the little bit extra money I had from selling those sheep and chickens earlier. In order to go to this place, you have to wait for Gots to get back. So as I mentioned quite a bit earlier, you do have to buy the expansions in the order that the game tells you to. You can't like get them in any other order other than chicken coop, first house upgrade, barn, and then second house upgrade. There is one after that. I think the one after that is when you buy the hot house, but you don't need that in the run, so there's no point in it. So now that that was a bit of a late split because I was going to split when I left the carpenters, but I forgot. But oh well. But so it would actually take a whole week for Gots to build the second part of the chicken coop. But I'm gonna sleep a whole week because Friday's one of like the really good days where everywhere you want to buy from or sell from or anything like that is open. So the ranch is open, so you can sell your cows there. The supermarket's open, so you can so I can buy the second rucksack upgrade there, which I'm going to do that tomorrow. And the carpenters is open, and and the carpenters is open, so I can get the house upgrade from there. So yes, you have to kind of jump through the hoops a bit when you do the first few exchanges, but basically every exchange from this point onwards now is really easy and really quick. Because I only have to send 5 cows over, send them 5 cows over again, and then that's the exchange done, and then that'll be the same for the next exchange, and then the one after that, which should be the final exchange, I'll have to reload it just so I can send 20 cows over, because that'll be when I have... The final exchange will be done when I have the barn upgrade, which allows me to have 20 animals. So instead of just selling 10 cows, I don't actually want to sell all 20. I think it's 17 or 18 that you only need to sell 17 or 18 in order to have enough money for the rest of the run, but yeah, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. And it is a little bit faster to just not send those few extra cows over and then not sell them, because the menuing when selling animals does take a little while. So it's just a few more seconds you can disable for a run. So hopefully I'm late enough in the year that going to Yodel Ranch after 9 o'clock doesn't activate the horse cutscene. If it does, I'm going to be a little bit sad, but not too sad, but oh well. But yeah, so this is the second rucksack. This is a very important item because this makes befriending Popuri a lot quicker. Because so Popuri, so if you may have forgotten that this is a marriage run, I will be attempting to marry Popuri. It's not entirely about house upgrades, though it feels like it. Okay. I'll have to remember this for next time then. To come here first, because at this point it's also completely fine to get Popuri's second heart event, or first heart event rather. In fact, you actually want to get it today, because if the first time you visit Poultry Farm in summer, you watch her rival cutscene with Kai, and if you watch that cutscene first, you actually then can't watch her introduction cutscene. And that costs you 2,000 affection, so that does actually matter. Now, I was saying something before, but now I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, okay, it was about affection with Popuri. So yeah, so the way you build affection with Popuri is by getting a bunch of pink cat flowers that mostly grow on the mountains. So you can get 16 a day, and 14 out of those 16 grow in the mountains. So obviously it's a bit faster if you're able to get 8/9 at a time rather than 4/5. And this is actually also why you want to have the house expansion by this point, because if I order the first house expansion today, then it should be finished by summer 1. And the first house expansion includes or gives you the shelving unit, cabinets, or whatever they're called, or officially referred to as. And that basically allows you to store items. So that's quite important, because a big part of raising affection in this run is basically just spamming the person with as many items as you can. So it's a good thing that I can kind of like, I can get like 16 pink cat flowers on summer 2, the day before her birthday, keep them in my house, and then I'm able to give them to her tomorrow, instead of only being able to give her the 16 that I'd be able to pick on her birthday. And again, that does make like a massive difference, because if you give somebody a wrapped present on their birthday, the first time you do it, it does 1,500 I think, and then every time after it's 1,300, so it's still a lot. So missing out, like, or not being able to give 16 gifts, like, that's 16 times 1,300. Yeah, it's like, and this is one of the games where like it's like 60,000 points I think you need of affection to get them to a red heart, but you need to marry them. So yeah, so this is why you need the first house upgrade. But you also kind of want to get all their house, but you also want to leave it. You don't want to get the first house upgrade as soon as possible, because once you upgrade your house, it gets bigger, and then it takes longer to go to sleep. So I could have got this upgrade a lot earlier. Like, I didn't have to get it today, but I think this is basically like the latest you can leave it. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is like the latest day you can get it without it. I think if you get it any day after this, so because you can't go to Carpenter's on Saturdays or Sundays because he doesn't work on the weekends, or you can't order anything from him on the weekends, the next day available would be Monday. That would be a slight problem, because you wouldn't be able to sell any cows on the Monday because the ranch is closed. But even if you could, I think if you did that, it would be done by summer 3, so you'd still be like, you still wouldn't then, no, if you got it done by summer 3, you'd still kind of be able to do it, but not as well. So instead of having 32, instead of being able to give her 32 pink cat flowers, you'd only be able to give her 24. So this is Popuri's introduction cutscene. She's going to run away, and then I'm just going to immediately leave the screen, because the actual bit that matters of that cutscene doesn't actually happen there. That basically triggers the cutscene to start, and now all I need to do is go to the Goddess Spring and talk to her. And then so there we go. So this is where Popuri has officially met me. So if you give her, so if I actually hadn't like watched this cutscene, you can actually get a thing where like you can give her a bunch of presents on her birthday, so you can get her up to like the next heart level, but she doesn't change like her reaction to whatever, like to you talking to her, until like you reset the screen. So you can get her onto like a purple heart or a blue heart even, maybe. I'm not sure if you can get her quite that high, but you can get her like up at least 1 heart level. Talk to her and she'll still say something like, "Why is he talking to me?" Because, or like, that's her reaction if like you talk to her once. Like, you talk to her once, she says something like, "Oh, who are you?" And then if you keep talking to her, she starts saying, "Why does this guy keep talking to me?" So you can like have just sat there giving her like, and give her like 9 presents, and she'll be like, "Oh, a birthday gift, how thoughtful," and then be like, "What?" And then just be like, "I don't know who you are though." Also, so when I practice this game, I don't actually run with sound because I prefer to, like, when I'm practicing or like routing or whatever, I just prefer to listen to music rather than having to listen to the game. So I've just completely forgotten how absolutely bumping Back to Nature's summer theme is. But yeah, so it's the day before Popuri's birthday, so I'm going to go collect some flowers. And I do actually have another exchange that I want to do today. So the good thing is, so even though I kind of have to wait until 10 for the ranch to open to do the exchange, I'm not just standing around waiting like I am on other days because I have something to do, which is flower picking. Oh shit. I kind of forgot about that bluegrass, but that's completely fine. So yeah, so not all the pink cap flowers that grow in the world grow up in the mountains. 2 of them grow by Gotz's carpenter shop, hut, cabin, whatever. So it's kind of good. We can pass through there to get to Yodel Ranch. But we also need to go there at some point anyway, so we don't even need to pick them up now. We can do, but we need to come back here anyway at some point. So even if we didn't want to pick them up now, that wouldn't be a problem. So this is Popuri's rival cutscene. I don't think there's any way to avoid this cutscene, because just because of how it works. Like, even if I went all the way around the town to get to the ranch to like now, I'd have to visit Popuri on her farm at some point because. So tomorrow on her birthday, when I'm giving her all the gifts, I would not be able to give her every single gift during the small time period of the day where she's by the goddess Spring. Because you basically spend the whole day giving her gifts. So yeah, so you will see that cutscene at some point. I don't think there is a way to skip it. Yeah. And as I mentioned earlier, if you see that cutscene before you watch without seeing Popuri's introduction cutscene, I just don't think you can actually you can then watch Popuri's introduction cutscene. I think that one's just yeah. I don't think you can then watch the introduction cutscene. Which, as I said, misses you out on like 2,000 free affection, so it does suck. But luckily, there's an easy way to like watch Popuri's introduction cutscene. It's not a difficult cutscene to get. So believe it or not, there's not actually going to be that much. There's not going to be that much exchanging animals left because this will be the penultimate time I'm selling all my cows, and then so the time after that will be the last time in this run. So all the cows that I'm selling now will go towards the barn expansion, and then so the barn expansion allows me to hold 20 cows. So I can then sell 20 cows the next time I do an exchange, which is a lot. So if I were to sell all 20 cows, that would be 60,000 G, which is more than enough for the final expansion I need, and just like various other bits of money that I need. Although at that point, the only other thing I'd need to spend money on would be the blue feather, because all of the wrapping paper I'm going to buy for Popuri's presents will use the money I've currently got. So as you can see, it does cost a lot to buy wood, as opposed to just getting it for free by chopping stumps and stuff. But it is a lot faster to just buy the wood you need than to like chop wood or to upgrade your axe or do anything like that. Okay, so tomorrow's an important day, because now we're going to start befriending Popuri. Only an hour or so into the run, and we actually finally start getting to the meat of it, the title of the category, Marry Popuri. We're finally going to start befriending Popuri. I mean, I guess we've already befriended her a little bit with watching her introduction cutscene, but this is when we really start making friends with her. So if I just scroll down my splits, all of those heart splits from purple heart to orange heart will be done today. I'm actually not getting all 9 items in my bag at the moment, so I can hold 8 items in my bag and then 1 extra item that I just hold on me. I'm purposely not getting that extra item because it makes wrapping all of my gifts easier. Because I don't have a full rucksack, I'm able to cycle through all of my items. Whereas if I was holding an item now, I wouldn't be able to cycle through all my items. I'd have to go into the menu every time I wanted to change them. I think they changed how wrapping items works in like some of the later games. Because I'm sure in one of the games you can just like select the wrapping paper and then you select which item you want to wrap, whereas in this one you have to hold the item that you want to wrap and then select the wrapping paper. Like this. So it's not actually like cycling through the items, I suppose, similar to like, I guess you would do in DS, maybe even Friends of Middletown, maybe, I don't know, it's been a while since I've played that one, but instead you put an item back in your rucksack and then you pull out another one. So it does end up like cycling through, it won't pull out like the same item every single time. But if I had a full rucksack, I wouldn't be able to put an item in my rucksack, so I wouldn't be able to cycle through the gifts like I'm doing now. Okay, so I'm gonna split for Purple Heart when I leave. Actually, no, I'm gonna split for Purple Heart now. But then I'm going to undo it if she's not on a blue heart by the time I leave. Because there might be a chance that happens. No, okay. Because there is like one section, I don't remember exactly which part it is, but there is definitely one bit where you go up 2 hearts in like one bit of giving her gifts. I thought I was going to be early and I was going to be early, but so this is Popuri's second event, and this is probably like the second quickest way to do it, because right at the beginning of the event, your character walks over to Popuri, and you have no control over that, so that just takes as long as it takes for your character to walk from whatever entrance you picked to walk over to Popuri. So the worst one is to walk from the carpenter's hut, because you essentially have to go all the way around that screen, and that takes a while. I think the one that I just did is slightly faster than coming from Yodel Ranch, but the quickest one is getting it by leaving her house, which you can actually do. You can activate that cutscene just by leaving her house. So you basically just leave her house, and then you're immediately there. So I was thinking that the cutscene would activate at 11, Or I'd have to be at that area by 11. So I was thinking I'd get there a bit quicker. But yeah, I don't know exactly what time you need to be there to get that cutscene, or to get like to get to that area without activating the cutscene, so that you can then wait there for a little bit to activate it. Again, I'm gonna split there, but then like, if she's not on green heart by the time I leave, I'm then going to unsplit and then split when I leave the house. But I kind of doubt she'll be on a green heart. I think it'll be like the next one. That's another amazing dialogue line she has. You're nice, not like my brother. So I suppose it's better than why is this guy talking to me? I meant to go a little bit closer to like the middle of the road because I thought I was going to hit like the edge of the mountain and like bump into it. I didn't mean to go basically on the other side of the path. So it is actually important that I wrap these flowers because if you don't wrap the items, they don't actually have a bonus effect. So if I were to just give her a pink cat flower, even though it would be on her birthday, it would be exactly the same as if I gave her a pink cat flower on any other day. Whereas if you give her a pink cat flower that's wrapped, or any item that she loves that's been wrapped on her birthday, it does more. I think during the run I've actually been saying that the first gift gives 1,500. I think that's actually wrong. I think I've been getting the numbers wrong because I'm pretty sure I've just remembered that it's, I think it's times 5 whatever the normal value is. So the first item you give of the day will be worth 2,500, not 1,500. And then the second item, and then like any additional items are worth 1,500. I think. Yeah. Okay, so this will be the last time we go to the shop today. It's going to be cutting it a little bit close actually, because I believe the shop shuts at 5. I'm actually really worried I'm not actually going to make it to the shop on time, which has never happened. Okay, good. That was a little bit closer than I would have liked it to be. But it worked out fine, so that's fine. But yeah, that last split basically like took no time because like you make so much from, you get so much affection just from these gifts that, yeah, they're like, you will just get like 2 hearts. You will go up like 2 hearts in essentially one section. And as I said, you basically go from like, not even purple heart to orange heart, and pretty much like on the verge of red heart, like just in one day. So luckily, even though Poultry Farm closes at 4, so you can't actually like buy, sell chickens or do anything like that after 4, you can still visit Popuri. I don't know what time that caps at, so hopefully I haven't fully missed that point, but good. But yeah, as you can see, Popuri's mom isn't here, so you can't like do any business transactions. But that's fine, because we don't need to do any business transactions at this time of day. So right, so that's the end of Popuri's birthday. And now the next time we leave our house, because how high Popuri is in affection, she's going to give us a chicken, or she's going to give us an egg rather. But I'm actually going to skip a couple days so that hopefully this works. Hopefully so that she gives us the egg on a specific day. So that I don't actually know if she'll visit me on a rainy day. Oh yeah, okay. Don't care about you, Rick. Oh, this is going to be a festival thing. God damn it. I'm going to leave tomorrow just in case Popuri can visit me on the day of the festival. Because this is similar to like at the beginning or earlier on in the run when with Popuri's introduction. Okay. Okay, I've biffed this up a little bit, but it might be fine. Okay, here we go. So Popuri's going to give us this egg. And this is actually important. So this is Popuri's third event. I'm trying to remember exactly what you get the affection for, because so every girl has 3 events. They have an introduction event, a question event, and an item event. So Popuri's introduction event was when we saw her at the Goddess Spring, and she was upset that one of her chickens died. Her question event was when we went to was the one we saw on her birthday, and it was something. She said something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm thinking about leaving, about moving cities," and you say something like, "Oh, that should be fun." And then her item event. Her item event is unique and is different to the item event of any of the other girls, because basically the way the item event works for every other girl is they just give you an item, and then that's that. They just give you the item and it's like, cool. And then like accepting that item gives you 2000 G, I believe. G? No, it doesn't give you money, it gives you affection, 2000 affection. But with Popuri's, because she gives you an egg, so you still get 2000 affection from accepting the egg, but then you also get an extra 2000 affection if you hatch the egg, and then you get an extra 1000 affection if you name the egg Popuri, or if you name the chick that hatches from the egg Popuri. And I kind of messed up a little bit and didn't check like how many cows, like the minimum amount of cows I need. Yeah, I didn't check the minimum amount of cows I need for the what's it called? For the exchange, to get like just the right amount of money. And I've actually kind of messed this up a little anyway. Because what I should have done is I should have done this exchange after what's it called? After the egg hatched. But I think this is still fine. It will still at least definitely be fine if I can get Popuri on a red heart today, because then I can buy the blue feather today. So you can buy the blue feather as soon as you get someone on a red heart. You don't have to wait until you get the house upgrade. You just need to wait till you get the house upgrade to be able to propose to them. So the slight disadvantage I have is I'm going to be about like 3,000 points behind where I'd kind of like to be, because I haven't got the extra 2,000 from hatching the egg, and I haven't got the extra 1,000 from naming the chick Popuri. But this could still work. Hopefully. These 2 flowers here will be fine. But because I have to wait for the carpenters actually, even if they're not, I still actually have like enough time to go get some more flowers from the mountain again. So what would have been nice is if I was on a red, because if I was on a red heart with her now, I'd be able to go to the store and buy the blue feather. But I have to wait for the carpenters to open anyway, which is like 10:40, I think. It's about like I guess roughly the time Goss gets back to his house. But basically what will happen if she's not on a red heart today, she'll definitely be on a red heart at the end, like once the egg hatches and I name the chicken Popuri. So then I'll make sure to leave my house for the first time after the egg hatches when it's finished upgrading. Oops. Oh, I actually also need to sell my cows. I completely forgot about that. So this will be the last time we sell any cows in this run. So, I'm going to sell all 20 because if I don't, they will definitely die. Because you have to wait a week from when you propose to get married. And it takes about 4 days for the expansion to be done. So that would be like a week and a half of the cows definitely not being fed. So I'm just gonna sell all of them instead of keep I don't know how many it'll be that I didn't need to bring over. Because I need 48,500 because it's 47.5 to get the final expansion, and it's an extra 1,000 for the blue feather. So it's 48,500, and you get 60 just from selling 20 cows. Plus I already had like 4,000, I think. I probably could have got away with just doing 15. Because even though that would have only been 45,000, because of the money I already had, that would have been fine. Okay, keep that in mind for next time. But yeah, if you haven't guessed it, we are approaching pretty much the end of the run. Like, there's still a little bit left, but like now it's, you know, it's selling cows, waiting for expansions, and then waiting to get married. I kind of hope that she does actually get on a red heart today, because then it will be faster than if she isn't, because if she's on a red heart today, I can just go to the store now and buy the blue feather. If she isn't, I then have to wait for 9 o'clock for the store to open on another day. So I have to wait a little bit longer. Yeah, so this would be the last cow that I would have to sell. But basically so that I don't have like a 5-minute period where like 5 cows or something die in a row. I'm just going to sell all of them. final cow. Goodbye. So I have much more money than I needed, but that is completely fine. I really want to get Popuri on a red heart here because that would be really good. I don't know if it's likely to happen, but it would be great if it did. Like, great, that's literally just enough. So now that she's on a red heart, the supermarket will be selling the blue feather. Here's the final time we'll see Gops. And now off to the supermarket for the final time. So as I mentioned, as soon as you get someone onto a red heart, the blue feather appears. You don't have to wait until you get the house expansion. So I can't actually marry Popuri at the moment because of the fact that I don't have the second house expansion. But yeah, but the blue feather was already there because I got it just about on a red heart. Like, only ever so slightly. Now, okay, I doubt this will happen, but if the house is done, okay, I was hoping, but thought it was gonna be unlikely. But if the house was done before the egg hatched, that would have actually been really good. But yeah, it's fine that it didn't. And I didn't actually bother calling the chicken Popuri because I don't need the extra 1,000 affection. So there's no point like messing around with making the menuing a little bit longer and then having like a slightly longer cutscene with Popuri here. Because now now that the egg's hatched, Popuri will come and check on. Oh, I can't actually activate it during the cutscene. So something I'm slightly worried about is I'm pretty sure Popuri's schedule is different on Sundays. Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. Actually, I'll wait until like 7 maybe. Yeah, you get an affection boost of 1,000 if you name the chicken Popuri. Let's wait until 8. This is a bit of a potentially a time waste, but may as well. But yes, that's why like Popuri's item event is different to every other girl's, because every other girl just gives you an item and then that's the event. Popuri, you get an item, you get the 2,000 from just getting the egg, and then you get an extra 2,000 if you hatch the egg, and then you get an extra 1,000 if you name the egg, if you name the chick that comes with Popuri. And I'm actually going to do something really quickly, which is I'm going to actually trade over Popuri to a different file. Seriously. Okay, no I'm not. I knew there was a good reason I shouldn't have 5 chickens on my second file. So so this happened in a test run, and we'll... Oh, fuck off one. And will definitely happen in this file, or in this now. Oh, okay, it doesn't have to happen because I could trade it with another chicken when I think it's going to happen. But basically, in a test run I did the other day, because I got the chicken, I got the egg from Popuri, hatched it, named it Popuri and stuff. And then I just kind of completely forgot about it after that. So during like the week that you have to wait in between proposing and getting married, the chicken died. So there was just like the cutscene that plays for an animal's death happened, and I was just like, I didn't have any animals. I didn't. That's bizarre. I was like, I don't remember having any animals on my farm, or like I sold them all. And then it comes up and says Popuri died, and I was like, what? I was like, oh wait, yeah, of course, the chicken Popuri. It was very bizarre. So yeah, it takes a week to get married. It's a bit it's different to 64, because in 64 you have to wait until like the closest like the first Sunday from after you propose, you get married. Whereas back to nature you just wait a flat week. I'm gonna like cost myself a little bit more time and exchange the chickens again. Just cause, yeah, that's definitely a sick chicken. I just don't want to watch that chicken death cutscene. But yeah, basically the end of the run is like tomorrow, I think. I don't actually remember when I split. Yeah, I don't remember at all when you're supposed to split this. Let's say there. On 64 they do it on like the first ring of the bell. So let's say it's that for this. Yeah, that's world record, by the way. Alright, we got to do the slide kiss. Yes. Yeah, that's world record by about 10 minutes. Oh no, by 5 minutes. I thought my time was 1:55, but it's 1:50.